Hello my beautiful people, welcome to your weekly general taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, these weekly generals are for everybody. It's the overarching energy, trend and theme that we're likely to be experiencing. Sometimes we get word messages, sometimes we just get specific sort of motivational stuff, which I absolutely love because I take them for myself as well, right? So with that said, if you are a continued subby, you know I love you for it. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. With that said, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, like peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So when I went into my intuition this week, it was actually a really nice one. The first thing that I saw was a hand glider. So it was like somebody had like literally just leapt off of you know, like the side of a mountain, like they do, running down it, and then just kind of leapt off. And then what I saw was what I can only describe really as a baby bird. And the message that I took away from it is like, once all of that had happened, the bird had, like, you know, it was a bit wobbly at first but started to fly. And then I saw I've forgotten what those what the sport is, but you know, the people that do the ski jump, like the really big long jump, and they fly kind of like Eddie the Eagle. And there was just this moment where it was like I was in that space, and it was like, wow, this is what flight feels like. And the message was kind of, you know, unless you take that leap, if you don't test your wings, you'll never know if they work, right? So this week, if there is something that you are doing that is completely brand new, if you're going in a new direction, if you are doing something that really feels very scary, if you're going out on a limb, if you are changing job, if you're changing home, if you're changing something big in your life, the message here is that whatever leap of faith you are taking, the universe is going to catch you. Now, that's not an invite to be gratuitously crazy or, you know, reckless. But what it is a message to say is that if you give yourself over to the process and trust the wings that you have in whatever direction it is that you're going, or your sea legs, or your, I don't know, your feet, or do you know what I mean? Like whatever it is that that you're utilizing, if you never test that, you'll never know whether it works or not. And so sometimes taking that leap of faith, taking that risk, this is a very full card week, you know, so it'll be interesting to see if it shows up somewhere. But that was the message that I got. I truly hope that it helps and serves in some way, shape or form. So, ooh, okay, the jumping card is the Tower card, right? So opposite energy to the Fool card, but still very much the same kind of energy, trend or theme, right? So the thing with the Tower card is this usually represents big changes, some sort of upheaval, some sort of big realization. You could have a message come through this week that completely sort of off-puts you, and when I say off-put you, doesn't always mean that it's gonna, you know, ruin your life. Sometimes it's just surprising information, i.e. a friend comes to you and says, look, I've been in love with you for the last 3 years, are you interested in dating me? You know, not exactly what you're expecting from a certain person, right? So it completely off-puts you and you're like, okay, I don't really know how to deal with that right now, give me a moment. The fact that it is the Tower card as the overarching energy, trend or theme, we knew this month was going to be challenging. We were all aware of that. If you saw my Life Path 2021 readings, you know I talked about it in there. If you saw the sign readings for the year ahead, you know I talked about it in there. We knew that this month was going to be challenging, and this Tower card kind of feels for me like, you know, we've had the eclipse, we're now in the aftermath, as they say. And what I get from this Tower card more than anything else, this is putting us in a space or a place of understanding what it is that has been pulled apart, what it is that's going away, what it is that new direction actually looks like. Now we're starting to understand, okay, this is the path that the universe is taking me on, this is the path that I'm choosing to go on, and from here on in I'm just going to have to go with it as best I possibly can. So let's have a look at the direction cards. How do we best utilize this surprising and, in the long run, liberating energy? Remember, the Tower card is liberation. Once it's all said and done, once all the rubble and the dust clears after everything's come crashing down, what we're left with is solid, right? And this is why I always say to people during readings as well, if you had a personal reading with me, you'll know this. Whatever is left once the tower has fallen, you can trust, whether that's a person, whether it's a place, whether it's an energy, whether it's an opportunity. Whatever is left once the tower comes crashing down, you know that thing, that person is solid, because it survived the fall, right? So we've got the Seven of Wands, might be a spontaneous battle that comes up this week. We've got the Temperance card. Okay, this is interesting. And we've got the Knight of Cups. So offers, opportunities, right? There are going to be offers and opportunities to move in new directions, to go off on new paths this week. And this is unfortunately what we're balancing out with the status quo. Now, we don't have the Hierophant card here, but check this out. So whenever the Temperance card comes up, what I like to do, I created a spread called the Temperance Run. If you want to purchase it and get the little mini tutorial, hit my website. You can have a look in there on the shop and you can buy it and it will talk you through the whole thing. But as a quick rundown, I put the Temperance card in the middle, and whatever cards fall either side of it, this really gives you an understanding of what things in your life you are trying to balance out. This for me feels like a battle between the old and the new, right? There's an energy here where we are balancing out, or rather for some people as well, the way that this might show up is you're fighting for what you have, and then something new comes in and says, but what if you could have something better? So this week it looks like the question that you're going to have to really ask yourself is what I have now worth what I could have if I take a different path? Nobody can answer that question for you. Only you can know in your deepest heart of hearts if that is the right decision for you. However, it really is important this week that you ask the question. So the fact that we've got the Tower card here, which is is number 16, 1 6 gives you 7, so we've got 2 sevens. So this suggests that on the wider world stage there is going to be some news, possibly about travel, which is, for some places in the world, I think this is great. We might see a return to travel. We might see, battles coming up because of travel, or because people are restricted more, or I know here in the UK we've just been told that our restrictions aren't lifting for another month. This might cause problems, it might cause challenges. Another thing that comes up here as well, I think, just as we're getting new variants of the whole issue that's been going on throughout the world, I think this week we might be hearing of a new release of a new vaccine, or one that combats one of the new strains. I say that because the Temperance card very often has a healing element to it, and usually it shows up for people like doctors, healers, therapists, all of that kind of stuff. So very, very interesting. And then finally, one of the ways that you can use this energy is to find a way to balance. What is this, right? We're balancing Wands, which is fire, our actions and our personal will, with Cups, which is all to do with our emotions. So this week, it's not the heart and the head that are having the battle. It's the will and the desire, right? So there are two aspects of self this week that are going to present themselves, and what you do with that, or how you utilize that energy, is of course up to you. So let's have a look at our insight cards. What's coming up here? What might we need to know? What may be going on behind the scenes, or what might we need to be aware of? Okay, and this week we have the Nine of Wands, right? So this week, speaking up, having your moment to speak, or taking your moment to speak, might be a big part of what we're doing. We've got the King of Pentacles, so something again with the financial institutions. It could be that I kind of feel like this might be maybe one of the banks takes a dip. We might be seeing something on the wider world stage to do with funding for military personnel, or for veterans and stuff. I know that tends to be quite an issue a lot of the time. And then the Eight of Pentacles, so the world of work, the world of finance. I think we're going to see this week on the wider world stage, I think we're going to see a call for more fairness or more equality when it comes to working industries, i.e. pay disparity, maybe questions about whether the people that have kept everything running while the whole world's been shut down are being paid enough. We know this is an ongoing thing, but this week I feel like it might reach a fever pitch. Now, That said, on a personal level, speaking up about something that really matters to you when it comes to your work or your profession is going to be vital. This week, getting your finances in check is going to be vital. And it does look like in some way, shape or form, this week could bring up thoughts, questions, or adaptations when it comes to the work, but also when it comes to the money and the finances. This is a week really to get your ducks in a row. It could also be as well, whatever this opportunity that the Knight of Cups is bringing us in the direction, it could be that this week it has the potential, but it's going to take you either further away from your home, maybe further away from the people that you love and care about, or maybe it's going to see you, I don't want to say isolated in some way, but you know, it's definitely a possibility. I just feel like whatever the opportunity is, it's solid, it's sound, but it looks like it costs something. You know, it's one of those things like, well, you know, I've been offered my dream job, but I have to move the opposite end of the country. Or I have, you know, I've been offered this job, but I've only got 3 days to decide whether I want to take it. Like, there's something about it. And, you know, it may be that by taking this job, it completely changes your schedule. It completely changes your hours. And so, you know, you have to scramble around to find childcare for your children. Or there's some change coming this week. We can see that with the Tower, and it looks like it's a really great opportunity, like I said, once the dust and the rubble settles. But it does look like it's going to put us all, you know, whatever we're doing this week, we're going to realize, wow, okay, this is going to significantly change my life. You got to buckle up and be ready for it. With that said, we are coming into this week, the 21st, we are in Cancer season, so the year is advancing at a crazy pace at this point, but yeah, very, very interesting. Anyway, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how this shapes up for you, what you think, what you feel. It's an absolute pleasure. Take care, and I'll see you soon.